All right. So we got one submission today. I only picked one because it's a little bit lengthy, but I think you're going to love this, Stu. I know I did. And I'm just going to tell you right now, the rot factor.
It's high.
It's high. It's a
Very
high
high
level. Yeah. In fact, there's multiple rots. I mean, just here you go. I'm going to read this out. So bear with me. It's a little bit long, but you're going to get the entire inside scoop here. Okay.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jay. Jay says, when I was younger, my friends and I used to go chill in a rec center parking lot beside my house. We'd play catch, shoot hoops, smoke weed, skateboard, and just chill, you know? This time I had just gotten a brand new car, my first one ever. I was super proud of it. It was a pretty nice car for someone my age to be driving around, and it was a result of me working full time. It was the first thing I spent real money on, so I was super careful with it. On this one particular day, I picked up some friends and we decided to go to get some food and chill at the rec center. All right. We hit up Mr. Sub and I thought for once, I'm going to try something I never tried before, like something beyond random. So for whatever reason, I landed on the Seafood Supreme sub. To compound my terrible choice, I decided to wash it down with a carton of chocolate milk. So we eat and then head over to the rec center and commence our usual loitering routine. We start smoking blunts and everything is cool until I start feeling gross. I don't know if you've ever greened out before, but it's an awful experience. And this is exactly what happened to me. I started getting the spins real bad and decided to sit in my car for a bit and just get centered, you know? So I'm in the car, doors close, eyes close, trying to stop the spins when suddenly I feel my whole stomach just heave and I just knew I was about to puke everywhere. I start fumbling with the door handle, trying to get the door open, you know what I mean? To puke outside the car. And I'm spinning so bad I can't even operate the handle. Well, I didn't manage to get the door open, and I wound up puking the entire sub and chocolate milk all over the driver's side door, the dash, the vents, myself, my seat, and the floor. I'm talking violent splatter. The smell was so bad that it just made me heave even more. So my friends are laughing so hard as I stare in disbelief at this huge mess in the car. I'm like devastated. You know what I mean? I got to go home and deal with this mess. The stuff went in between the window and the door. So every time you rolled the window up or down, it left these disgusting chunk streaks. You know what I mean? Every time you ran the heat or the AC, this disgusting rotten seafood milk smell just filled the car. I took that thing apart and tried to clean as much as I could, but it was no use. In the summer, when the car would bake in the sun, you would get into it and it would just smell so bad. I can't tell you how long it took for the smell to go away. Sometimes I think I just went nose blind and never went away completely. But my friends, man, would never let this go, and it was so embarrassing. These were also my prime years for seeing girls, and now I had to lie about the car being at the repair shop when I took the subway to go see them. What a rot.
Okay, so yeah. So I got a couple things to say about that.
Let's start from the top first.
Well, there's really nowhere else to start. The second you're hitting up, and don't get me wrong, I love a nice Mr. Sub, but the second you're going to any sort of fast food chain and looking for the seafood, option that's not maybe like super deep fried or something like that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's you punched your ticket, man. He
asked for this, didn't he? What I want to know is, what is the seafood? Like, is this like a po' boy? Is it a fried cat, like a fried catfish? Because it can't be, man. And that must have been like the seafood medley, dude. There was like calamari on there.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's a ceviche or anything like that, but you know what the most interesting thing about the whole story is, though?
Go.
This guy goes and gets the nastiest foot long, and then goes and smokes afterwards. Like, you'd think you'd have to be greened out to go and get a seafood sub.
Yeah, especially a seafood supreme. I don't even know what a supreme is. I think that's double the seafood.
And I bet it's creamy and like
I want
thick,
to yarf right now.
And it's probably come from frozen from like 6 years before. And like
they were shocked. He orders, like, I'll get the seafood supreme. And they're like, are you sure about that?
It's been around here since the silent era.
Did you say supreme?
Yeah, and
grilled or toast, like
no, like the guy was looking at it like you're crazy, man. Like this is not that's just for show.
Eat this shit. Yeah.
Like that's just for show. That's one of those things where they have like the picture up top. That's like obviously a very nice manicured like stock photo that like looks like, oh man, that looks tasty, right? But then you pull it out and the guy's looking at it and it looks like a dog's breakfast. And he's like, you sure you want me to put this on a bun and you're going to hoover this whole thing?
Yeah. Listen, I'm with you, man. You fucked up. This is a bad mistake, especially pre-chill when he's talking about shooting hoops, skateboarding. Like you don't want to eat one of those things. And then the chocolate milk. Like I love me a chocolate.
Oh, well, that was going to be my second point.
Like the chocolate milk. Like I've probably done some sus things with chocolate milk before, but not this sus. This is like the man should not have let him check out. You know what I mean? He's just like, what are you doing in the next 3 to 4 hours? Because I'm worried about you. You know?
If I was that employee, I would have just called the cops. Just have them pick him up outside and say, "Sir, get on the ground with your hands behind your back. You're not eating that."
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't even feed this to a bunch of raccoons behind a dumpster.
Yeah, I wouldn't even do this to a raccoon. You know, even a raccoon has standards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they would be looking and they're eating.
They might eat the bun, right? They take the bun, the tomato, but then they're like, you know what? Stay away from that Supreme. We're gonna get sick. Yeah,
like they just come outside of like a hockey arena dumpster chewing on plastic bags, and then they look at that and they're like, I'm not eating that shit. What the hell is this? What the hell?
What do you think I am, some kind of animal?
Exactly. And then the other point I wanted to make is, so he had the full-on Seinfeld car, BBO, Beyond BO.
Beyond BO.
Because he went nose blind, couldn't tell. Then he gets a little chickadee or a couple buds coming in, and they're
ripping on him.
I can't get in here. Smells like Bigfoot's dick.
Yeah. I need to leave now. You know what I mean? I could just imagine it's like a hot day, dude. And you need to escape, right? Because, you know, the AC, it's a new car. The AC probably works pretty good, right? The AC works perfectly fine. In fact, you're like, hey, guys, come to my car. I got that AC. It'll be nice and crisp. We'll cool off. But you just get hit with that barf calamari smell. You know what I mean? And it's later. It's later, bud.
It's super late. I remember it might have been in the summer or something like that. And I was like, going out and enjoying a couple libations with some people, social distance, of course. And I had made I was trying to be like a little bit healthy and stuff like that. And I think I made like a tuna salad sandwich, and I had it there, and I was like super hungry. I thought I was going to like eat it right away. Oh no, it was egg salad. Because it was like relatively early. And I was like, I was going to eat it right away. But then we got there, we're kicking it, just having a good time, this and that and the other. And then I remember, I'm like, oh shit, like my hunger really kind of came on. And I'm like, oh, I've got to chow this down. And so I went and I just hoovered the sandwich in two bites, just like a vacuum, you know what I mean? And everybody just looked at me and was like, you just murked that? Like that's been sitting out here for like 4 hours in like 40-degree humid Toronto weather. And I was like, yo, I am just starving. And, you know, I'm iron stomach and this, that, and the other. Yep. Bro, 1 hour.
Forget about it.
Had to bolt right home. I was like, yeah, there's going to be some issues at the porcelain telephone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was explosive. West Coast shit. I know exactly what you're talking about. This is a huge rot. I'm just going to tell you right now. This is like it's a triple threat rot. It's the food, it's the puking. We didn't even talk about the greening out. And I think greening out is basically blacking out for weed, right? Yeah. So he was having a terrible fucking day. You know what I mean? And then the barfing left, right, and center on himself, on his car, then the smell, then the issues with the dating in his prime years. And I get it. You know, I bet you girls were like, well, don't you have a car? Why don't you come pick me up? He's like, it's in the shop still. She's like, what are you doing? And he's just like, getting my rims done now. You know what I mean? He probably has to have a list of repairs that are all fake. You know what I mean? So it must have been really stressful. So this is one of those all-timer rots. He was probably told this story a million times. It's probably in his top 3. It's an all-timer. You know what I mean? Yeah, when he gets older, he might pass away from Alzheimer's. And the doctor, they're gonna be like, doctor, what was the prognosis? Like, he just rotted.
Yeah, like it'll be, and on his epitaph, it'll be like, here lies Jay, 1985 to 2060 or whatever, dummied, rotted, dummied, a seafood supreme. Everybody would say,
oh.
Yep. The cause of death, the COD, was seafood supreme. And
and then in brackets underneath, and chocolate milk.
No, and then they were like, no, he was a survivor. He survived the seafood supreme, not unscathed, and not without many war wounds to live with, but he survived. He's a survivor, man. So shout out to my boy Jay, or I don't know him, but that's a hilarious story, and I hope, keeping in line, obviously, with this entire theme of this episode, I hope he's making some better dietary choices moving forward in his life.
Jay, you got to move on from the seafood supreme, all right? But I am getting hungry, though.